Tammy here. So today I wanted to share with you a quick recipe for some keto chips. If you guys watched me last Saturday, I done garlic bread. So this recipe is similar to that one, but it doesn't have the eggs or the baking powder. So in this recipe, it's just going to be a cup of mozzarella cheese, which I'm going to melt in the microwave here in a minute. Half a cup of almond flour. Oh, hold on. Well, yeah, that's right. And then half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and then just a few grinds of the pepper. And that's it. A very simple recipe. I halved it so that I didn't have too many. So you can double this, triple it. I mean, it makes chips and it makes quite a few. So, well, I thought it made quite a few. That's why I halved it. So I'm just going to put that in the microwave for 30 seconds. And then give it a stir, put it in for another 30 seconds, and it should be pretty much melted. And then we're just going to whip up the other stuff in there. So hopefully you guys have watched my videos on Saturday. It's a secret recipe where I don't know what I'm going to be making. Somebody in my family will just randomly pick a recipe and get all the ingredients, and it's just a big surprise for me. So that's almost melted. It might not need another 30 seconds. I'm probably going to do half, probably 15. So anyway, and then I need to try and figure out the recipe or make something different, whichever thing I do, and then just see how close I am to the original recipe. So it's kind of fun. I have a good time doing it. And then on Wednesdays, which is today, I've been trying to do a keto recipe. And like always, we'll be putting the video on my YouTube channel, channel TL71. So if you miss it on Twitch, you can find it there. So we have the melted cheese, and then we're just going to add the almond flour, and then a half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And you can play with the spices. You can put any kind, you know, that you think that might be tasty, and maybe ranch or maybe some chili powder or cayenne to make it a little spicy. I'm just going to do a little bit of pepper, and then you just got to mix that up. It's pretty simple. This part is the hardest part. Well, maybe not the hardest part for me. The hardest part for me is cutting the chips straight. And what you have to do is roll it out as thin as you can. The thinner you get it, the crispier your chip will be. And I am horrible at getting stuff rolled out real thin. So I'm just going to get my hand in here to make this a little easier. After you get it to come, after you get all the dried almond flour into the cheese, you just have to knead it just a little bit to try and get your, pretty much like a smooth ball. You just want to make sure that everything's all incorporated, so you know somebody doesn't get a real salty chip. So I'm just kind of just kneading it just a little bit here in the bowl. And then I'm just going to grab my parchment paper and get this rolled out. So I got a piece of parchment paper that's going to be on the bottom, dough there. Now I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper on the top. Oh, I forgot about the chat thing. I don't know how to get there. Anyhow, so you got to roll this out till it gets probably about 1/8 of an inch. I am horrible at it though, like I said. What are you making? Oh, I am making keto chips. So, like I said earlier, it's similar to the recipe I do for garlic bread, minus the eggs and baking powder. So you just got to roll it out as thin as you can make it. Let's see where we're at. I think I should have got a little larger piece of parchment.
Now, is that something that if you were to put like maybe an almond flour or something on, or a flavor flour you like, you could run it through like a pasta maker to get it even thinner?
I've never tried that. We have to try that sometime and see. Most of the time when I do a keto dough, it's pretty sticky. I think it would stick to the machine, but it's worth trying.
Would it be possible to have a piece of parchment paper on each side and then run it through?
No.
No, parchment paper.
I think you could. It wouldn't. It would just wrinkle up in the machine, I think.
Gotcha.
But we could try it and see what happens. I mean, all that would happen is it would just
Make a mess.
Make a mess and get stuck. But you know, that's how you figure out things, is just to try.
You know, I just realized, Tammy, you forgot to give you your microphone. So you're 100% using the camera microphone.
Oh, no mic today, so hopefully you guys can hear me. So then what I like to do is use a pizza cutter to cut my chips. You can cut your chips any way you want. Like I said, I'm real bad about making it pretty. So, but what's good about gluten-free dough, it's not like regular dough you work with. So you can cut these edges off, square them off, and then all you'd have to do is just put it all back together and roll it again. It doesn't bother it at all. So I'm just going to do this. And again, I'm not very straight on things. And you know, it's however you want to do it. You can use a knife. You can do it as a big sheet. It won't be crunchy that way though. And just get these cut. Whoa, I think it's gonna, oh, that's kind of thick. Yeah, that one's going to be too thick.
Now, if you cut a few pieces like you were just saying is too thick, could you take your thinner ones, maybe like your edges, and then kind of do a little re-rolling?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I said that it wouldn't hurt this dough to re-roll. So that's what a good thing about it. So then I just cut my squares into triangles, or sometimes weird shapes. But you just have to.
So if you want to have fun with these, maybe for like a holiday season, you can just get out like your favorite cookie cutter or something, maybe.
Yeah. Most definitely, you can use a cookie cutter.
Some cool Christmas tree chips. Put some toppings or something on them. If you had a holiday party or something like that.
That's an awesome idea.
Yes, it is.
Yep, that would work well. But anyway, so then you just cut these, and you know, like I said, any way you like. The thinner you get the dough, the crispier your chip will be. Get this out of the way. And then I just grab a cookie sheet, and I put parchment paper on the cookie sheet. And then you just lay them down here, whichever way you want to get them on. I'm going to bake these in the oven for probably 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on your oven, how long it'll take.
Do you flip them when you bake them?
I do not. I just stick them in and just cook them till they look brown. Like I said, 10 to 15 minutes. And I've never tried them in the air fryer. I don't know how that would turn out. That's another thing we can test.
So you rolled that pretty thin and you cut it. If you were to cut it into maybe a little bit bigger squares, is it something that maybe you could fill with like a topping and then take two and sandwich it in almost like a ravioli, pinch the sides, put it in and make yourself like little makeshift pizza rolls or something like that?
You might can do that with this dough. I mean, everything, like I said, you just have to try things. So you've got that in the oven. And then earlier I made some of these chips. So this is what they look like. Some of them got a little brown.
Well, they're chips. Brown's a good thing, right?
Sometimes. Some of them are a little thick, so the little thicker ones are not going to be quite as crispy. But let's try one. I don't know, since I don't have my mic on, I don't know that you could hear that crisp, but it did crunch a little bit. Not quite as much as I would like. That was my husband crunching his. But like I said, it all depends on how thin you roll your chip, is how crispy it is. But even though these are not real thin, they're still very tasty. I can taste the garlic. I really like them. I hope you guys will give this a try. These are pretty delicious, I think. And like I said, you can use different kind of flavorings on here, whatever you guys think would be great. Ranch seasoning. There's a lot of different popcorn seasonings that you can buy that you could use on here. That dry seasoning would go well on this. Even just any kind of spice, maybe a little rosemary or maybe some cayenne, whatever you guys think would be delicious.
Or if you got some of those leftover onion skins and garlic peeled skins, you can grind them up and make a little powder out there, right?
Yes.
You look confused.
Because I didn't know where you were going. Now I'm losing them. I'm going to set these down. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you'll try these chips because they turned out pretty well. I just hope you guys can roll them a little thinner than me. Have a great day, guys. Love you. Or bye. Sorry, I think I'm talking on the phone. Bye. Yep, a little bit thinner, I think would be good. I mean, they're good.